Journey down the path's mosaic.
Shalom, aloha, and howdy. Welcome to the Usual NPCs. I am your ever present game master, Tony Brett, and I am joined by a member of our cast of unbelievable players. Player, please give your greetings unto the fabulous listeners.
Hello, fabulous listeners. My name is Jaime, and yeah, nice to meet y'all.
Alrighty, Jaime, would you like to give us a little bit of your background as a TTRPG player and tell us a little bit about you as a person before we get into you as a character?
Well, the first time I tried to play a TTRPG was second edition Dungeons and Dragons, and my uncle was like, "Hey, check this out," and I was like, "I don't know math. I'm sorry." Um, and So then he gave me a bunch of his old second edition books, and I just sort of read through them and thought they had cool pictures and stuff. And then uh yeah, after that I started when right around the time fifth edition came out. Coincidentally, a friend of mine started up a game of Shadowrun, and I played. I was like, okay, this is my first foray into this world of this game, and also TTRPGs beyond attempting to learn as a child. I'm gonna play a Decker. So I did, and it was an absolute disaster. And I loved every minute of it, and I was just throwing rocks just like crazy. And from that point, I started to learn about fifth edition. I learned by doing. I played several one shots, started to learn the rule set, and then fast forward a couple years, played a bunch of different systems, tested some systems, and starting in 2020, I started to run my own games. And I have two long running games, one that's been running since 2020, one that's been running since 2022. And both are currently running, and one's going to wrap up kind of soon. But yeah,
That's super cool. Not a lot of people get the honor of running a game to its completion, so
yeah. It's
that's awesome,
rough at
Jaime.
the end. It's a rough sort of a test to get your players to like level 17, 18, and they're like, yeah, I just smack it, it's dead, and you're like, I don't know what to do.
Well, I guess there have to be 7 Tiamats now. Oh well.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. Well, that's awesome. So, I guess getting into character creation itself, we will be creating characters through D&D Beyond. Just to give you a quick bit of information as to anything special we're doing for this campaign, we will be taking one of the mythic boons, I believe they're called, one of the supernatural gifts is what they're called, sorry,
Ooh.
from the Mythic Odyssey of Theros, because I think it makes that level 1 feel a lot more powerful while giving you things that not everyone else has. So it also makes your character unique. I think a lot of characters at level 1 feel kind of samey. So I think this is a great way to help out with that. So we'll get there when we get there. As of right now, I will start with the question: is there anything in particular about your character that you had going in as far as their backstory, who they are, what they are, etc.?
Yeah, so I kind of built this idea of this character, who is a bugbear gambler, who is kind of he a good-hearted person who's gonna do some crimes here and there. um Somebody who would like somebody who's a little enamored with the idea of like high stakes, high payoff situation. A little impulsive probably, um but also likes to kind of lay low. The sort of So the principal sort of idea was this gambler character, and the sort of secondary part of this, or the sort of um, yes but to it, is that he is somebody who doesn't like to be known or seen very much. So even though he is uh, uh, interested in a sort of not necessarily a flashy lifestyle, but he's interested in like he has a very unrealistic notion of like what it is to be wealthy. Not that I have a particularly realistic one, but but he has sort of like he cares a lot about it, and is looking to like sort of do get find the shortcuts there, kind of. And he along the way, one of the shortcuts was that he. I'm not sure exactly how this is sort of like a just an idea, but like he somehow his he got entangled with somebody who was sort of magically involved, and that person sort of saved him from something, that and gave him this hat of disguise. So now he is wears a sort of hat of disguise to pretend he's other people while gambling, as a way to sort of avoid the effects of being bad at gambling. Um, and it doesn't, the idea is that that doesn't necessarily work out for him, but maybe sometimes he gets away with a little bit of something here or there, but for the most part, he's not a good risk assessor.
But he sure loves to do it.
Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, that's sort of the central idea. Boomer Gilly is his name, and I think that class wise, um, I like to lean on things. I mean, I think for this character in general, like I like to play sort of chaotic, uh, uh, or not necessarily chaotic per se, but like high levels of randomness characters. And
Absolutely.
I like roll tables. I use a lot of roll tables in my games.
Roll tables are
um,
great, yeah.
they're amazing. I think they're great. It's so, like it can just take a game just anywhere. And yeah, I was thinking maybe like a wild magic type sorcerer who maybe doesn't even know that he's a sorcerer.
Yeah, I'd be down with that.
Like he just sort of doesn't understand that he's casting friends or something. Maybe.
Yeah, that's very very fun. The idea that he's doing this magic, getting these magical abilities and things in, but he's not fully aware that it's by his own power that
Right.
that's what's happening.
Exactly. Yeah. In fact, I think he probably has a pretty external locus of control. Like believing in luck is usually pretty external.
Hmm.
So like he definitely believes in luck.
Yeah, I think that'd actually be super fun to flavor a lot of the spells and things you're casting as looking as though they're the product of just good luck, but that's because that's how your sorceress abilities manifest
Right.
is by quote unquote creating your own luck, as it were. But
Exactly.
it
Yeah.
is very much your own magical ability that is causing these lucky breaks.
I even had this sort of sense like maybe he has like these little phrases, these little like almost like ritualistic phrases that he uses to like in like certain situations, and those could be like the verbal components of spells or something, or
That's
things that are
phenomenal.
just sort of like sort of jazzing himself up to be like, all right, well, it's time to. I mean, to quote, I can't remember specifically. Something about I don't remember something about dice. So it's time to like roll dice or something,
Hmm.
which I guess that is also appropriate in a meta level.
It's a bit meta. I love it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It'd be fun. I think it'd be fun to sort of interplay between those things.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's really, really great. So then what we'll do, and this is what we are doing in all of our individual player interviews, is we start by going through character creation itself, doing everything but your core six stats, then talking about the story that you want to tell through your character, and then ending with rolling up the main six.
All right.
So going through D&D Beyond, beginning to end, please feel free to let me know what you're choosing as you're choosing it for things like race, proficiencies, background, stuff like that. And of course, let me know which supernatural gift you are choosing from the Mythic Odysseys of Theros.
So I'm starting with Bugbear from Mordenkainen, I believe. His there's a previous bugbear. Yeah, like there's a Volo's Legacy bugbear. But this is from Monsters of the Multiverse. Um, and yeah, no, keep going.
So I'm curious.
Uh huh.
How good is the hat at causing a disguise? Like how impressive is the magical effect?
I mean, so in my head, he has like two or three specific sort of personas that he might take on, that he's gotten down, pretty well. So it's not like he could use it to like probably try to hide in general, but like he's not going to be good at it. Is the idea that I had? Like he'd be like he practiced these specific ones as
Yeah,
disguises.
these are practiced personas that
Yeah.
he's yeah.
So with those, I think he'd be fine, sort of in a very general sense. Um, and he's certainly not very well versed in like the arcane per se, and definitely not well enough to even understand that he's involved in it.
Mhm.
But he what he does know is like he practiced looking like a tiefling for a while, and that sort of became a character for him to play.
Mhm.
And then there was a dragonborn, and that became a character for him to play. And then there was a human, um, and like with each one, there's like mm, less information about them because he's had less time to sort of build them out as a character.
Mhm.
Um, Gosh, this is very meta, isn't it? But yeah. So I would say like the tiefling one is the most developed one. That his name's Charity, um, and the Dragonborn has different names depending on the context. Um, uh, they're both about because he's pretty tall, about 7 feet tall.
Mhm.
Like, but like, and the Hat of Disguise can only like move you like a foot in either direction, I think. So like he's like 6 feet tall as a tiefling, 6 feet tall as a dragonborn. Also, he found one of the ways to like solidify these sort of alter egos or whatever was to he he doesn't realize what he's doing exactly, but like some element of what they wear is always red. So like the hat itself is red,
Mhm.
and every time he is like becoming one of them, something they're wearing is red, and like in a very like crimson, like very demonstrative way.
Yes, it is a very explicit tone. It's one of those things where if you were looking at people in a crowd, you would go, "Wait, no, 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 no. That cloth. I know that
Exactly.
cloth."
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. 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 So like yeah, that's basically it. Yeah. He has a tell basically that he
Mhm.
doesn't even know he has. It's almost like a Dumbo's hat situation or Dumbo's feather thing. Like the color. He really it's important to him that it's red. He
Mhm.
doesn't understand why or anything. He's just like it has to be red. That's what makes it work.
Yep. Yep. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. Alrighty, feel free to continue through character creation. Sorry, I just wanted to
No,
I was
yeah, yeah,
curious
yeah.
about that, yeah.
So I was just looking at the origin proficiencies, and I'm like, I don't think he's super sneaky. So I don't know. Like, I mean, he certainly tries. That's
Absolutely.
certainly true. Uh, but I don't know if he's like
There's a
actually
difference
proficient
between
in it.
making a lot of stealth checks and being good at stealth.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So maybe we change that origin proficiency to something else.
Fine with me. I
Um,
encourage as much customization as possible.
let's go with maybe deception.
Cool. Yeah, absolutely. That's definitely something that he would be well versed in, especially when he's in the form of charity and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think that's good for him. All right, so class. So far, wild magic sorcerer.
Oh, I love Wild
Uh,
Magic Sorcerer. I think
yeah,
that's yeah.
yeah. It's it's so much fun.
Mhm.
Uh,
Um,
like, go ahead.
I was just gonna ask, do you have the limitation of, and I want to make sure that this really plays into how you do it, is there an issue with casting spells while keeping up the disguise with the hat? Or are they independent of?
I think they're independent.
Cool. Awesome.
At least at first, I think that'd be interesting to like that have that be like a problem that he might face at some point.
Mhm.
But like he's not aware he's casting spells, so I don't think he'd be aware of I don't think there's any for the specifically for the hat of disguise item. I don't think there's concentration involved.
Cool.
So he'd be able to sort of just surge basically, like friends or whatever.
Yeah. No, totally cool with me. I just wanted to make sure because technically per mechanics, disguise self if the hat allows a cast of that is concentrate. But if that's not what you're envisioning for what you want your character to be, then I would much rather rule of cool how the mechanics work to make it so that you really are being able to embody these personas rather than going, well, technically that mage hand runs the risk of dispelling like no, no.
Yeah. No, I think actually be really cool, like at like a slightly higher level to run into that as conflict, right, for the
Yeah,
character to be
absolutely.
like, oh, I lost my disguise suddenly. Why did that happen? Like, I don't know.
Hmm.
What was it one of those random things that happen sometimes,
Yeah, maybe make it
or
like a secondary wild magic table or a secondary
yeah,
one of the random tables that you roll
yeah,
on a D100. If you roll above a 90 or something like that, it dispels it.
yeah, that'd be really cool. I think
Yeah,
that
you
could be
like your
very
random
very
tables.
cool.
Let's keep those random
I
tables up.
I love them. I actually I made two, just in case you didn't like the I think it's no DMG one. Um, uh, just because I think there's only 50 in the DMG one.
Oh, lame.
It's yeah, I don't understand. But yeah. So for proficiencies, I'm thinking Arcana and Persuasion.
Yeah, makes sense to
Arcana
me.
only because Sorcerer,
Yeah, absolutely.
basically.
Because at that point you have an innate sense for it, right?
Right. Yeah. So sort of like I'm just imagining like having like checks where there's a sort of sense, a vibe, basically.
Exactly,
Yeah,
exactly. You
and
see, I
persuasion.
have proficiency in vibe checks.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But like only a specific type of vibe check.
Exactly.
And then for obviously wild magic for the sorcerer's origin. And then tides of chaos, which is not even a choice. And then I'm looking at additional features. I added the first level sorcerer spells that are extended through Tasha's, which are like cantrips like Booming Blade, and Mind Sliver,
Cool.
which are really effectively the only ones that would come up here at all at the moment.
Hmm.
And then all right, so hear me out.
All right.
There's a spell. I'm pretty sure it's a homebrew spell. It may have been officially absorbed into canon at some point. Uh, just because I've had a D&D Beyond account for a while, and it's hard to remember when I added certain things in my own homebrew collections. But there's a spell called Bees. It's a cantrip. Um,
I'm
and
pretty confident that's homebrew, but
okay,
please tell me what it does. I'll probably say yes.
So it's casting time one action, range 10 feet, components verbal somatic, duration instantaneous with a DC 12 con save. You extend your hand toward a creature you can see within range and project a small swarm of bees from your palm. The creature must succeed on a Constitution saving throw or take 1d12 poison damage. At higher levels, you are able to produce additional swarms of bees, which you may project at another target of your choice within range, dealing 1d12 poison damage for each additional swarm. At 5th level, it's 2. At 11th level, it's 3. And at 17th level, it's 4. And then there's an asterisk, and it says no actual bees are harmed in the casting of the spell. So I thought that'd be fun.
I'm gonna say yes to bees.
Okay, cool, cool,
I'm
cool,
gonna give
cool.
the okay to bees.
Awesome. I'm into it. And then yeah, cool. So another cantrip, obviously friends. To me, that's just like
Hmm.
the first place it goes, basically.
Absolutely.
And then I'm actually not entirely sure what my third cantrip should be. So let's look at the so I get 4 cantrips and 2 known spells. I was looking at Green Flame Blade. I don't know how. I'll say this. He's not super into fighting.
Yeah.
So like I don't. I can imagine him sort of closing his eyes and being like, "Ah, no, stop," and then like just not even seeing the green flame, like maybe on a dagger or something.
All right,
Um,
all right.
but I I think, oh, I didn't mage hand. It's mage hand.
Yeah, Mage Hand is actually wonderful.
Yeah, no, 100%. It's why did I not think of that? I'm dumb. Yeah,
It
no, it's
also
mage hand
happens to be
and
one of the most useful spells ever.
absolutely, yeah, and minor illusion. I think would be my four. Those would be my four cantrips.
Cool.
And then for my first level spells, which I'm charm person, uh, pretty clear to me,
Mhm.
and not disguise self because of the hat.
Yeah.
But I was thinking silvery barbs. So how do you feel about silvery barbs as a DM? I know I have been there. I understand. How do you feel about it?
Okay. So, I personally think Silvery Barbs is the worst designed spell. Oh, hand up. Let me explain. Let me do my thing. Let me do my thing. I got words to get through here. You can put that hand down, sir. All right. So Silvery Barbs, I think, is one of the worst designed spells ever because I think it is unfun in most scenarios and abuses in-game mechanics. However, it is the single most beautifully flavorful spell for your character I have ever seen in my life. So
I
I will
kind
trust
of,
you and
I will
I will allow silvery barbs.
thank you. Thank you. I don't allow silvery barbs in my games. So like I totally understand. Well, thank you very much. And I obviously already silvery barbs you and yeah, so it worked out. Cool.
uh,
Um
I want to clarify I'm either the greatest game master in the world or the worst, because so far in our player interviews, I have allowed silvery barbs, bees, and hand grenades.
hand grenades. What? I, yes, I would like to learn more. Um,
Asia might have grenades. Don't worry about it.
okay, that's fine. That's cool. All right, cool. Well, that's my spell list basically. So now we're at abilities.
Cool. So for the main six, we will save those till the end.
Okay,
If there's anything else we need to grab in the interim that you think is interesting and we're sharing with the listeners, we'll do that right quick.
okay,
Would you do me a favor?
yeah,
I have in our chat, I have posted the link to the Mythic Odysseys of Theros.
I have it up
Yep. Pick one of
already.
those out and let me know what you pick. Feel free to take your time looking through them because we can
So
cut out you taking your time.
yeah, that's fair. Fair enough. Yeah, these look dangerous. Um,
Yes.
so I guess let me ask you, with because I'm not sure how we will be using these. I guess, what from what you know of Boomer, is there anything here that you would uh like shortlist recommend?
Let me take a look and give you an answer. Because as of right now, the answer is no. Um, so the Iconoclast does have a lot of things that I think would be neat for you because they basically just get extra spells that they get access to that
Mm,
they can cast, I think, once a day. And so it would totally work as it because a lot of the spells are protection from good and evil, dispel
mm-hmm.
magic, dispel evil and good, stuff like that. That could absolutely be flavored as through your magic, luck occurs, and the magic just goes away, or things like that.
I'm super into this on the grounds that it says I blame the gods. I think that might be like a big thing for him. Just like, no, I blame the
I
gods.
I should have clarified the actual direct lore of those we don't really need to use because we aren't using the gods of Theros.
Oh,
That
fair
being
enough. Yeah.
said, that doesn't matter in this scenario because yes, I love that, please and thank you.
Okay, cool. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, so I'll take Iconoclast. I love it. I absolutely love it. Great. This is great.
Good, I'm glad you're enjoying. Alrighty, in that
Awesome.
case, my Last question before we roll up stats is what is the story that you want to tell through your character? What are the themes, ideas, things that you want to convey? What's the moral
So
of
I would say the arc
Boomer story?
here is one of, um, at the start, extremely external locus of control. At the end, probably a more balanced understanding of that. Not necessarily a more, or, well, necessarily more internal, but not necessarily entirely internal. But sort of his resolution will be like the resolution of his sort of inner conflict will be about um, uh, learning how to read that and learning what role he plays in like what happens around him. I took Goblin as a language, uh, Gambler as a background, and huh,
I love
I
Goblin as
think
a language. I love it.
yeah,
Gambler
yeah,
is, of course, a perfect background. So, to make sure that I'm understanding this correctly, right?
hmm
So, at the moment,
hmm
both magically as well as just personally,
hmm
Boomer doesn't really see himself as an active part of the world, as someone influencing the world around him. He sees himself as someone who is there to experience, right? He's someone who's there to receive. That's why he has terrible risk assessment. That's why he is so much into the gambling, is because he doesn't see himself as having that outward impact. He sees himself as being impacted. And so this is a story of him understanding how much both through his magic in the literal sense, as well as just how much he as a person has to contribute and to add to the world and to influence the world around him.
yeah. I think um, I I would hesitate to say that he's not active because he's definitely active. He's just active in a way that's like the cards are sort of stacked against me, um, and I there's very little I can do to affect that. So he's like sort of willing to take random shots at greatness, basically, because he does sort of have like a sense of he's an active participant in what's happening, but it's that like his action is so under like powered, I guess, or under it's so unimportant to the greater scheme of things that like it doesn't really matter what he does.
Yeah, he is active within his own story, but he believes that
Yeah.
that story means nothing in the larger uncaring world.
Yeah, yes, yeah. Also, he's definitely somebody who uses any winnings that he might have had to like feed people with it, or to help his family. Um, he's not greedy, but he wants luxury. Is a kind of a way to put it. He really doesn't understand wealth at all. Like he truly is like it's an absolute like fairy tale type of understanding.
Yeah,
Um,
he 100% wants to be that good rich person who only gets because he is kind and good and wonderful and gives all of it away, but still gets to live in that lap of luxury
mhm.
because that's it and shares it around with everyone.
Yeah, he doesn't. Yeah, he definitely doesn't understand that. Like, well, I guess yeah, it's more that he can't like he has a pretty strong conscience, and like if somebody needs it, he would feel it that they need it more than him.
Hmm. Absolutely.
In other words, chaotic good.
He wants to live in luxury, assuming everyone else can also live in luxury.
Very, yeah. That's yeah. Just wandering around Burning Man, basically.
Very nice indeed.
So for my skill proficiency, I took perception. For my tool proficiency, I took dice set. Um,
Cool,
and then for my extra language, I took dwarvish.
cool.
And my background feature is called Never Tell Me the Odds. Uh, so odds and probability are my bread and butter. During downtime activities that involve games of chance or figuring odds is the best on the best plan, you can get a solid sense of what choice is likely the best one and which opportunities seem too good to be true at your determination. That's
Perfect.
probably going to be directly tempered by the or not tempered, but directly like uh, uh, parallel to the iconoclast stuff, I'd imagine.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
yeah. So that's him.
That is awesome. In that event, would you like to roll up stats and we'll wrap up?
Hell
Oh,
yeah.
sorry, hand raised.
Uh oh. Hi.
No, we have not.
Yeah. So I have I think I could be either from Sparrow's Rest or from back my notes. Uh, what is it? I think he's from the city with the gods. Like the is probably where he's at.
The one where Sciala is, or the one that's the big trade one?
Not the trade one. The this yes, yeah, where Scala is. I think that's kind of why
Okay,
he's a little like about the gods, and maybe has left there to go to Sparrow's Rest.
cool, cool. Yeah, absolutely. So, initially from New Taverheim,
Yeah, yeah,
but currently leaving to get away from the. Yeah, I can imagine how, especially if you feel like your actions don't really move or shake anything in the world at
hmm
large, being in the place with the world father is probably build up some resentment towards that.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
In that event, let's roll up some stats.
Sweet. All right, we using the D&D Beyond roller.
You're welcome to. The D&D Beyond roller does the same thing that we would have done in person either. So for the listener, if they didn't already listen to Asia's, we are rolling 4 dice, d6s, drop the lowest, and then once you get all 6 of those sets of d6s, you can assign them as you see fit. If your overall average modifier, right? If you roll an 8 total, -1. If you roll a 11 or 12 total, +1. If your overall modifier averages out to a 0 or less, you are allowed to re-roll everything.
Okay, everything or just the one thing?
The whole thing.
Okay, cool.
Get a
Okay, so
fresh new set.
awesome. Okay, so let's do. Man, this could be really rough. Let's do. All right, first roll is a 10.
Ooh, not bad. I
Second
mean,
roll is
perfectly average.
perfectly average. Yeah. Second roll is 16.
Hey, there's good.
Third roll is 14. Fourth roll is 11.
Jeez.
Fifth roll is 15.
Look at you go.
I've never
Oh,
had that happen. No, no, no. I got a max. I got 18.
you.
I got three sixes and a
Oh,
one.
that's. Oh, you son of a bitch. Your stats are so good.
That's really. I feel like that might be too good.
I think it's a little over the top, but I set the rules. I'm okay with it. Another character has grenades. It's fine. It'll even out.
Okay, well,
You do also have
18.
silvery barbs, though, so I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. You're fine. Go ahead, keep the stats. Let me know what you're assigning where.
All right, I'm gonna give the charisma. I'm gonna give charisma to or the 18 to charisma. Um. Uh. Sheesh. I don't even know. That's actually really cool. So first of all, the 10's going to int.
Cool.
Uh. The 15's gonna go to con. The 16's gonna go to dex. The 14's gonna go to strength, and the 11's gonna go to wisdom. I'm not smart or wise.
But you're
Yeah.
big, you're fast, and you're a good talker.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. There we go. So yeah, my
That's
total
perfect.
modifiers here are strength +2, dex +3, con +3, int +0, wisdom +1, and charisma +4. That's insanely good for level
Phenomenal.
one.
That's an
Oh my
unbelievably good stat block.
god! I bet you the next time I roll for like whatever my
Yeah, nat ones
next
for the
level,
rest of
it's
the day.
not it's just whole yeah exactly the whole way down. Oh man, that's great. Okay, cool. Yeah, so that's Boomer. He's a big boy.
Cool.
Talk good.
I love it. Big boy who talk good. Hell yeah. Alrighty then. I
um,
think that wraps up this episode. I will bid all of the listeners farewell, goodbye, hasta la vista. Would you like to say goodbye, Jaime?
I'll say, what are the languages you haven't covered? Bismorgan, uh,
Ooh, very nice.
or Zaijian, or what's another? What's what? No, Icelandic. No, I can do Swedish. Hedel.
Hey, there you go. Spicy, I like it. Man, I'm gonna need to look up a lot of different hellos and goodbyes in different languages.
Personal level, like I have degrees in philosophy of language and linguistics, so like
So I'm doomed.
no. I will totally create stories in my head based on language that I'll theorize it and I'll yes and the shit out of your shit,
Good,
basically.
good, good.
So awesome. Well, wow. Okay, cool. I'm gonna go show this to my husband and be like, look what I just did.
Good. Yeah. Man, those rules are absurd. I'm
Yeah,
very upset.
ridiculous. My charisma is 19 to start.
Jeez.
I'm I better take a lot of damage. Not you, like me telling myself I better play this real risky.
Fast and loose. Hey, you
Exactly,
need the
yeah.
stats in order to play as fast and loose as Boomer likes to.
Yeah, yeah. All right, well thank you.
Cool,
See y'all
thank
later.
you. Yeah, and then we will reconvene for session 0.
Thank you. Should I hang up here? How do I do it?